Oh, hi, and welcome to Effin Hormones, the podcast about perimenopause and beyond. I'm Emma Goswell, and I am back together with my gang, with Terry, Bina, and Helen, because something pretty special happened recently.
And the winner is Effin Hormones.
What's that you say? Effin Hormones winning gold in the wellbeing category at the British Podcast Awards. Amazing. And just in case you've been living under a rock, yes, that is only Idris and Sabrina Elba giving us the award. Thank you, guys. So we've been on a bit of a break recently, but we had to get together for this. So welcome to an Effin Hormones special to celebrate our win. A big thank you to you for getting in touch as well. But it is time to hear from the gang. And this is so weird because we're all sat around a table in person. Woo! Woo!
Never happened before.
How exciting.
I can reach out and touch you,
Hello.
Get your finger
Touching
off
me.
Stop poking, Terry.
Weirdo.
Oh, it's so lovely to see you guys and under such amazing circumstances. How are we all?
Well, let's just have a little chink chink.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, I've got my nosecco here.
Bean is on the tea.
I'm on the tea.
I'm on the alcohol. Congratulations.
I mean, we're recording this the day after the Lionesses win.
Yes.
Chin chin. Let's have a little drink. Emma. God, you can't take her anywhere.
This is not a wine tasting club. Do not spit that out.
Oh, God. So how are we? I mean, me and Terry missed the award ceremony, so I feel like we're a bit distant from it, really. But how do we feel after winning, Terry?
Oh, I felt like I was there in person because I was getting all the messages from the girls and I was camping and it was raining. It was literally chucking it down and I was cheersing everybody and we were all my friends were so excited that we won. And one of my friends that was there, Katie, is a big listener. She loves our podcast. So she'd already got me a bottle just in case we won. Oh, wow. So she got the bottle out when we won. So it was so exciting. Yeah, it was really, really lovely. And the lads as well were all really chuffed. So, yeah. I've educated a few boys on menopause this weekend as well.
Well done, you.
Quite right. And I was not camping, but I was at a festival, just cheating and staying in a B&B. But I was at Elfest and I was on the stage, so I told an entire field full of lesbians that we just won gold. Because I was so genuinely excited. I was like, do you mind, I literally turned to the bands that I was about to introduce and go, do you mind if I just do a shameless bit of self-promotion? They were like, no, go for it. So I told literally hundreds and hundreds of lesbians and they were all very excited.
Did you record the reaction?
Oh, no, I should have done, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, do you know what? Effin Hormones, just the title got a big old laugh from the letters. It really did. There was a knowing laugh. Yeah. Effin Hormones. Yeah.
Do you know what? We should be so proud of this. I know we are, but it's such a privilege to have this, isn't it?
Really is.
It's a massive deal. It's a huge deal. What was it like actually being there? I mean, obviously we saw a lot on social media, but God, what was it like being there?
For me, I mean, I was just there for genuinely. It was an afternoon. It was a gorgeous afternoon. I think all award ceremonies should be done in the afternoon in a park. It was such a great atmosphere. It was incredible seeing all these people making amazing podcasts, all sorts of subjects, and so it was just great to be there. And I guess genuinely thought, there's no way we're going to win.
Helen, do you remember I said to you when we came off the stage, I was like, did you think we could win? Did you think we could win? And you were like, no.
Absolutely not.
And I was like, I did.
I was like,
Helen believed.
Like, absolutely not. For me, it was shock. I was genuinely shocked. Genuinely shocked that we won. But what it was, I feel like it was a real, there's so many amazing podcasts that were nominated in that. Like, for me, it's incredible. Like, everyone sort of puts aside a lot of those sort of self-made ones, ones that haven't got tons of money behind it and big PR machines behind it, and are a bit like do-it-yourself, like we've done it, who've got recognition. And I think it's fantastic because there's all these people who've got something going on in their own lives and they've been brave enough to share it to try and help other people. So actually, that for me was pretty. I was quite emotional about that.
That was quite awe-inspiring, wasn't it, actually?
It was really awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
incredible.
incredible.
It was lovely to be part of that.
Yeah. And it is a weighty category to win in, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of heavy stuff that people are talking about in that category. So to win it is, mind-blowing. What was it like for you, Helen, being there?
Well, I've got to say thanks to you, Bina, because I was my little speech, which I just about managed to do without crying. There's one bit where I sound like I'm sniffing.
I think you're crying.
No, I'm not.
Helen.
I wasn't actually crying. It was just a very, very wobbly voice.
You were crying, mate.
There were no actual tears coming out of my eyes.
Your voice broke.
Anyway, so listen, thank you for saving me.
I was mortified when you handed me the mic. Just looked at me, hands me the mic. I'm like,
at all.
shit.
And I was like, mate, I'm done.
Oh, you did a great job. Don't give yourself a hard time.
Thank you.
You were really good.
Thank
and
you.
then Bina picked up on the whole women's health
And
equality.
that got a really big cheer.
I watched I saw the video and I saw Sabrina Elba like really cheering that on, and
Yeah,
I was
thanks,
so
Sabrina.
chuffed. Yeah.
To be totally honest, I don't remember being on the stage. It was just all such a big, like, whoa, what the hell just happened?
I know.
All I had in my head was white noise.
Yeah.
So you hadn't planned a speech then in case you won?
No, because I really didn't think. I said to Helen, I was like, I've no idea what I'm saying. You're going to have to do the talking if anything that comes of it. And then when they did the bronze, and then they did the, I was like, oh, that was nice. I sort of looked at her and I was like, oh, that's, it was nice to be here, kind of thing. And then obviously I'm just fixated with Idris and Sabrina Elba being on stage because I'm like, oh my god, it's Idris Elba.
Honestly, when they came on stage, it was like,
Is it the only time you've ever been given the elbow and you were happy about it?
here she is.
Here's Dad.
Here she is. Yeah.
Love you, Terry.
Can we have a moment for those photos afterwards and how you two looked even more midget than you actually
I
are?
know, it's so funny. I mean,
Never
they
felt
both
like such
at
a
least
hobbit.
a foot taller than us,
At
aren't they?
least. And they sort of...
They were lovely, weren't they?
I mean, it was such a hot day, wasn't it? Like, I was
Yeah.
like hot and sweaty.
I
And they
know.
just came out all pristine.
I know, they looked
and,
beautiful,
They
didn't
looked
they?
beautiful. And what was lovely was they were so warm
Yeah.
and so kind and asked us questions about it all.
Yeah,
And,
they did, yeah.
Like, they were like, properly
And
interested.
we were going off and Idris was going, great speech.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, thanks.
Thanks, Idris.
Cheers,
Yeah.
Hashtag love you.
Yeah, I know.
Hashtag
So-
my best
Hashtag,
friend.
I love the wire.
It was just phenomenal, really.
It was phenomenal.
And don't worry, we weren't remotely offended that you didn't mention us.
Oh, mate.
God.
As soon I was just like, so
High five, Emma.
such a...
Honestly.
Sorry.
Honestly,
Yeah,
She
girls.
was so upset afterwards.
I was
and
really
I was like,
upset.
oh, they'll be all right.
I was
Honestly,
like
we were.
really mortified. I was like, oh my god, because this is why you should prepare stuff.
There's no I in team, girls.
I know.
Listen, just so you don't know, you lot listening, we didn't actually name check Emma and Terry in our speeches. I felt terrible about it
No,
afterwards.
it was fine.
That's fine.
The
Don't
hosts did. They remembered us.
Alice
so
and
don't
John.
worry. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, at least he didn't break down and do a Gwyneth Paltrow and thank God or anything
That's
like
why
that.
I was so worried about my bloody wobbly voice. I was like, don't do a Gwyneth for God's sake. Ugh. Anyway.
You're a far cry from a Gwyneth.
Yeah, I
Helen.
know. Can you imagine? Stop it.
Is it Gloop? Goop?
Oh, don't give them unwarranted a media attention.
No.
Well, before we move on, we need to say a big thank you, don't we, to everybody who's been in touch over our win and all our new listeners. We really appreciate it because we've had over 4,000 listens since last week.
Since last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's
I know.
incredible.
Is that the same person? Keeps listening on repeat.
Really likes our voices.
No, maybe it's an Idris fan.
I mean, we've had some lovely messages before, haven't we? Like where we were sort of, we don't even know if anyone's listening, or we don't know if this is. We know we're getting something from it. We're all on our own journey, kind of thing, and we found solace in doing this. But it's been incredible just to see how actually it is helping people. Like it's
helping
really,
people.
Yeah.
It's so incredible to know that it's doing something.
And when those people take the time to get in touch with us to say thanks very much, like that means so much.
It means
doesn't
the
it?
world.
It means
It means the
everything.
world.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And it
all
is
of
nice
you.
to win an award, but actually, if I'm
That is the
if
main
I'm totally
thing.
honest, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's-
No, you're right. I mean, I genuinely say it, and I said this in the last series, that this podcast changed my life because it made me understand HRT and it totally transformed my life. But the fact that we may have done that for other people is just mind-blowing,
It is
isn't it?
mind-blowing.
It's just fantastic that even if we just help one person
Yeah.
understand their body more and understand what they're going through, it's just that's all the thanks we need, isn't it, really?
That's how I see it too, because there have been moments where I've been like, oh God, am I really doing this? And cringe, because it's personal, it's embarrassing, and it's something that you share with your friends, and then you realise, oh God, people are actually listening to this and I don't know them, and it's a bit... But then when you hear that actually you are making a difference and it might be helping people's lives, you know that you're doing the right thing. And even if it is just one woman that gets helped by this, I know I'm glad to be doing that. So
I will say it is slightly mortifying knowing that my colleagues at work know
Yeah.
about my bodily functions.
yeah, Actually, it's my partner's colleague said to her, "Oh, is Terry the one with vaginal dryness?" So, you know,
Straight in there, Terry.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's not even me. It's coming from people I don't know.
Oh,
so
man alive.
I had
Brilliant.
to point out, no, I've
Well,
just discussed it.
There's probably thousands of people across the country who think that I really have got really bad BO thanks to
Listen,
you, Terry. So I
literally,
shouldn't
you
worry
just
about
sat down and went, I wonder, I
really
think I might smell.
it. That's mainly because I cycled here. I don't think I've generally got a problem. But thank you.
Can't smell you. It's all good.
So no, a massive thank you. But the other point, the other reason that we're getting together and doing this extra episode is because we're going to have a catch up about Series 3. It's coming, isn't it? This is happening.
It's coming. We've been talking about it, haven't we? Yeah, we've got plans. But I just wanted to say to you guys that because we do this on top of our day jobs, we've decided we're going to release episodes monthly, just to take away a bit of the stress. Because let's face it, who needs stress when you're perimenopausal?
Like a monthly cycle.
Like a monthly cycle.
Oh, I've forgotten them. It's been so bloody long.
Yeah.
What are they like?
Yeah, that's it, basically. Just watch and see. Autumn time. We've got plans. We've got big plans.
Also, we need to do a big thank you to people who have put their hands in their pocket because we also
really
launched a GoFundMe at the end of last season because we're basically funding this out of our own pocket. We've all got busy day jobs, but we are just doing this. We're funding it ourselves, really. So we need to give an Effin Award to, drum roll, Laura, Janet, Ilona, Alison, Lindsay, Helen, Karen, Rachel and Terry.
That's actually me, yeah.
Terry started off the GoFundMe.
Oh, well done.
20 quid. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Terry.
Cheers.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple more since then, actually. So thank you to the stragglers and keep it coming.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
it's on our effinhormones.com website. On that front page, be an effing star. Click on there and it'll take you to the right place.
Yeah, click on the star.
Oh, on the star.
Yeah,
Because you are a star.
yeah.
And of course, there's some other very important people that we really must thank, and that's all our incredible guests and contributors to Series 1 and 2.
Thank you so much, guys. Yes, so Totes in a Propes. Oh, thanks, Totes. Sue Devaney, who you know and love from Corrie. Heather Jackson and Sam Simister from Gen M, who are doing great work with brands. Colette Walsh, Karen Arthur, who inspired us so much. Marnie Riches, who was so rude. So funny.
Hysterical.
So rude.
Striking, plaiting pube person.
Yes, that's right. Carmel Cardona, thank you so much for talking to us about your resilience training. That was amazing. Jem Brooks, I had absolutely no idea about syncing your cycle, like syncing your exercise around your cycle. That was fantastic. Kate Muir.
Granny Orcas.
Granny Orcas. She told us about Granny Orcas. They also have menopause. Tanya Glide, who talked to us about queer menopause, and Hendrix. Thank you, guys. We really, really appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without you. Honestly, you taught us so much. Just wanted to say thanks so much for being so incredibly frank about things and open about things. You really inspired us on that score too. Cheers, guys.
Round of applause.
Thank you.
Okay, so last time we were all together, which seems like 1,000 years ago in my life, I had some big news because I was about to become a mum at the age of 50 for the first time. I think during that episode I was madly washing lots of baby clothes, wasn't I?
You were, yeah.
God, I'm trying to get my head around the fact that I was going to be a mum. And I do remember looking at all those clothes thinking, one day, hopefully, there might be a child inside those clothes.
Oh, yeah.
And now there really is, and she's over 4 months old.
She can't quite fit the clothes yet, though, can she?
She's very little.
Aww.
Well, she was a month premature. She was supposed to come in April, and she came in March via C-section. Then she was very poorly. We were rushed to Alderhay Hospital, 2 open-heart surgeries, aged 3 weeks old. Intensive care for 11 days. We lived in Alderhay Hospital. I lived in Rodham MacDonald House for 5 weeks. So it wasn't the start that we'd hoped or planned, really, but everyone concerned with her care were just incredible. And we finally left the hospital, and it's just been pretty much a joy ever since. And I don't even mind the fact that I haven't had much sleep because I'm up in the night doing nappies or feeding her. It's all just a joy. I really have got nothing to complain about. I absolutely adore her.
So you fell in love then, didn't you?
I totally fell in love. And that was one of my worries. I thought, because I
remember.
went to this NCT group and I suddenly clicked on about the last class. I'm the only parent there that is not genetically connected to my child. And it is a worry, isn't it? You think, am I going to love this child? Well, I think it's my child. And I absolutely 100% do. And I can literally spend hours just staring at her and just loving her. And those eyelashes, where did she get them from?
Eyelashes are to die for,
They
man.
are, honestly, all the Scouse nurses were just like, bloody hell, look at them lashes. I pay good money for them.
Are they?
Yeah. She's a little stunner. She really is. So, yeah, just
Takes
feeling...
after a mum.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Well,
The other one.
Siobhan, obviously, not me. So, yeah, life's...
So last time as well, we talked about, because you were sort of grappling with like being 50 and being a mum. We ironed that out, didn't we?
Yeah, and I actually do think that it's... I think it was the right time in my life to be a mum a bit older on. I wasn't ready in my 20s, 30s or even 40s. I was far too irresponsible, far too interested in partying, and just didn't have my head screwed on properly. But I think everything that's happened over COVID and losing Abigail, I think I've had to do a lot of growing up. I've had to do a lot of thinking. I've not had to settle down, but I've wanted to settle down. And I love nothing more than just staying at home with my beautiful little family. And it's
so
just, I just feel
lovely.
very lucky and very blessed, really.
So happy for you.
Yeah.
And she's taken your sister's name, Abigail, hasn't she? A middle name.
Yes, she is Neve Abigail Frida Goswell.
Oh, Frida, I like that. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yes.
about the Frida.
Well, she's named after Frida Kahlo.
Is she?
Yeah, well, she needed an extra middle name because otherwise she was going to be Neve Abigail Goswell, which would spell nag. So I wasn't having that.
So now she's Nafga.
Yes, now she's in Africa. Well, I had a slightly odd moment. Well, we didn't have a name for her. So when she was born, she was down as Baby O'Neill because she didn't have a name.
Oh, yeah, because it's always the mum's name, isn't it?
We had, so we had a short list. And literally, Siobhan is still being sewn up and turns to me and says, you've got to choose her name now. So I'm holding it. I was like, what, now? And because I was feeling a bit emotional and a bit weird, I was like, can we call her Tigerfish?
Tigerfish.
Because the first thing I said to her was, hello, Tiger. She just had an air of being a tiger, and it's the year of the tiger.
Yeah.
And she's a Pisces, so fish. I thought, that's quite a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Tigerfish. But it's a bit too... Siobhan was not up for that. She was like, are you fucking mad?
So Siobhan's the one completely out of it on drugs, and you're the one coming up with Tigerfish.
Yeah, Tigerfish. But then I know I literally looked at her and I went, because we had a short list of about 3 or 4 Irish names, and I just looked at her and went, you're a Neve.
Lovely. It's a
Yeah,
lovely
name.
name.
It's a lovely Irish name.
Yeah, yeah.
But Frida is after Frida Kahlo.
Brilliant.
Just because.
She's caught a Mexican. The father's half Mexican, so she has got Mexican roots. Well, I keep saying father, but he's not the father. He is the sperm donor. The sperm donor is half Mexican, so yeah. And also, I'm a massive fan of Frida Kahlo. I've got Frida Kahlo artwork all around my flat, so
Yeah.
it made sense.
There are a lot of Irish women called Frida as well, so it goes back to the Irish as well.
So there you go.
Oh,
Brilliant.
congratulations.
Neve Abigail Frida is doing
Amazing.
very well.
And
Gorgeous
I've
girl.
met her, and I've had a cuddle. You've had a cuddle,
I've
haven't
had a
you?
cu- I've had a few
I can
cuddles.
confirm she is one of the most beautiful babies I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah,
Absolutely
ditto.
gorgeous.
no thanks to me.
Yeah.
But do you know what was interesting? We had a NCT class meet-up when all the babies were about 3 months old, and they were all a lot younger. She was born first, but she was like by far the smallest. But anyway, by the by, then we all just sit around in a group and talk about what we'd learned about motherhood or parenthood since the birth of our child. And I said, and it just literally came out my mouth. I went, to be honest, what I've learned is that going through menopause is much fucking harder than becoming a mother. It just is.
That's interesting. That is
Wow.
interesting.
That's saying something,
Go on,
isn't
to
it?
expand on that then.
Because I probably had less sleep when I was going through the menopause.
Really?
And I was waking up every hour or two. I woke up every 2 hours for 10 years. That does a lot to your sleep. My emotions were all over the place. So I think I have more sleep now I've sorted out my menopause symptoms than I have more sleep now I've sorted out my menopause symptoms than I ever did before. And
Yeah.
I've got a new baby.
You'll have to ask Siobhan when she finally gets to the stage where she's going through this, because those first 6 weeks after you've given birth are pretty... They're a bit, oh, man alive.
But I wasn't recovering from a cesarean.
Yeah,
so,
exactly,
you know, I was
exactly.
just sort of...
But that is really interesting. But she's a very good sleeper, Ems. From what you've told me, she's a good
we
sleeper.
are lucky. She often will do 7 or 8
Yeah.
hours. She will.
I mean, that's incredible.
Wow. So we're lucky.
That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, which is brilliant company. Sometimes I wake up and I'm awake in the middle of the night, and then I'll hear her like rustling or asking for milk. So I'll be like, brilliant, I've got someone to talk to now. if I've got insomnia, I won't be up because of a hot flush. I might just be up for insomnia, and I'll go, oh, brilliant, I've got someone to cuddle and talk to.
Aw. So how are the hormones now? Because you were on HRT.
Yeah.
You've been on HRT for quite a while now, haven't you?
Yeah, so I think what might have changed since we last spoke is that I am not on the private HRT.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. You're not having to pay anymore.
No, I'm getting it. We're not free off the NHS. What is it? Nearly £10 for a prescription, isn't it? But it's a lot cheaper than £120 a bottle. Let me tell you.
Is that what you were paying?
Yeah, but I had, so it's very different. So I used to have it all in one tube, and I just put it on my skin. So now I have estrogen in a gel I put on my skin. I have testosterone which are estrogen every day, testosterone every other day, and progesterone every day.
Is it Eutrogestin? The tablets,
Eutrogestin every day. Yeah, estrogen twice a day. So yeah.
And did you have any problems getting the testosterone?
No.
Oh,
Not
there you
at all.
go.
No. Although my testosterone is apparently through the roof, so I've had to knock that on the head a bit and take it more. But they're very good, the NHS. They have actually checked up on me, and they have actually done a recent blood test and gone, your testosterone is far too high, so I need to take more estrogen and less testosterone.
Did they look at your beard and say, you're on a bit too much testosterone, Emma?
It was my moustache, actually.
Was
I think, yeah.
Pistachio.
Oh, God. No word of a lie. I swear to God, the other week I was like looking in the mirror going, am I growing a moustache? Have I started to grow a moustache? But no, I don't think I don't think I am.
I don't think that actually has anything to do with it. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll have to-
it does
does
it?
Yeah, totally.
All right.
Bodily hair.
Yeah.
Polycystic, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that'll explain it then, because I've had a load of tests done, and I'm actually
you on it then?
naturally high in testosterone,
Yeah.
and I veer towards the hairy.
You do a bit.
I don't know why I'm laughing. That's, yeah.
We should talk about that sometime. You know, it's a massive taboo. Massive taboo.
Right, jot that down. Put
Jot
it in
it
your
down.
notes, Helen,
Another
for
taboo.
series 3.
Another taboo to be busted. There
We
you
should
go.
ask Boots to sponsor us because they've got lots of products for ladies' hair.
Or Nair.
No hair, yeah, no.
Oh,
Oh, I don't use that. I've got a little razor.
What, like a little microblade?
A tiny one, little one, yeah, for mustachio.
Oh,
really? Save it for the episode.
what I was going to
season
say, we're
3.
just busting the hair taboo now.
Facial hair episode.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah.
Get the wiry ones.
Yeah?
Maybe we should.
No, we should. Do we need
Screw
to
the
talk
taboo.
Effin Hormones? Making it okay to talk about by talking about it. As this is our summer special, we are not doing our usual features because, to be honest, we just fancy a bit of a catch-up. Hope that's okay. But so much has happened since our last episode, I thought it'd be a good idea to introduce you to Tropical to Topical.
I'm doing news.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Because this is where you get an update on what's been going on in the world of perimenopause and menopause. So, Helen, what has happened since our last episode?
So much. But I did want to just talk about the women's health strategy for England. I don't know if you saw this. It was a consultation. They were asking for people to give their experiences and thoughts on women's health. 100,000 women responded. So they came back with some data from that.
I was one of them.
Well done, Tessa. You were very good
I
at
was
promoting
also
that.
one. I
Well
did,
done.
yeah.
Well done.
Can I just ask though, is it just England?
It's NHS England, I think.
NHS England.
Or is it
England.
government?
Yeah. Women's health
Gov.uk.
strategy for England. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all about tackling the gender health gap. So good to know that that's actually been acknowledged and recognised.
Finally.
So there's lots in the strategy, but, and on a lot more than menopause, by the way, because this is women's health generally. But the UK Menopause Task Force has been set up, and that's going to look at improving healthcare support for women, raising awareness in the general population and amongst healthcare professionals. Good. Looking at where extra research is needed to improve gaps in knowledge. And someone called Madeline McTurnan has been appointed to improve the HRT supply chain because there's been a massive problem accessing HRT in some areas, hasn't there? And Madeline was the Director General of the COVID-19 Vaccine Task Force. So I think we can all agree that was one thing that was rolled out pretty well.
Yeah.
So also, both boys and girls are going to be taught about menopause in schools, and they're not going to be separated for those lessons.
Quite
Do you remember
right.
that?
Oh, God.
Do you remember that when we
Yeah.
got separated? It was
Yeah, yeah.
ridiculous, really, wasn't it?
I was at a convent school, so there were no boys.
Yeah. Mind you, when we did have the joint classes, there'd be lots of like...
I mean, I remember condoms and bananas.
Bananas. I know.
But that was fun.
And then I remember like being in middle school and the Tampax lady came and all the girls.
Oh,
were like-
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
we didn't
Tampax
have
lady
that.
came and we had
Was
a
that her
talk.
name, the Tampax lady?
I think she was
Hi,
actually
I'm
from
the Tampax lady.
She might have been a nurse, but we just called her the Tampax lady. And
Brilliant.
obviously the girls were taken off to learn all about
Separate.
period separately.
Yeah.
And we all got handed. That's when tampons were like massive and sandwich pads were like nappies.
They were massive,
They were like
weren't they?
bricks, weren't
Talking-
they?
I mean, this was like late 80s, early 90s. It was
Yeah, I'd
horrendous.
forgotten about that.
Anyway,
Bit more
It's
streamlined
like having a
now,
bloody bloody
aren't they?
duvet in your knickers, isn't it?
Can I just jump on one thing that you're talking? I know we're sort of going through this, but one thing that blew my mind, actually made me swear and nearly throw my phone across the room when I read it. It's that whole thing about, and now newly qualifying doctors will have to learn about
Women's health.
I know.
Women's health.
I was
The whole
like, are you
category, women's
fucking
health.
kidding? Are you actually kidding? Why? Do they not already? Like, why did... I mean, we know because we've had various experiences of it, but it astounds me that it's now a thing. And then they're out there going, isn't this a great thing? I'm like, it's nothing to be proud of that you're now going, oh, we're going to teach people about women now.
I mean, we obviously completed it as the survey, but did you read some of the testimonies of the women and their experiences in gynecology, and not just in menopause, but the whole shebang of what they've experienced? It actually made me, I was so angry. I was the same. I wouldn't throw my phone because it's expensive.
Have you seen the state of my phone? Look how battered it is.
I've dropped it a few times.
You've been angry recently.
It made me so
hormonal.
angry.
Yeah, for effing hormones.
It made me so angry from things like, you know, women being like full of arthritic symptoms, being told that they've got, you know, all sorts of problems with them and being sent for all sorts of scans when actually they just needed some hormones and they needed estrogen. And the way women were dismissed. If you just read that report, it's available on the .gov.uk website. But the testimonies from women is so strong and so compelling, and I'm so pleased that they have a women's health strategy, but they could not after reading those reports from women.
Wow.
I don't know, because I mean, I'm glad there's finally acknowledgement going on. I can't imagine women haven't been trying to have their voices heard for decades. But
It just spurs you on, though, you know, like,
I mean,
we
it's
need to
all
carry
progress.
on.
It's great.
Everyone needs to carry
It's
on with all the
heartening.
campaigning and
But I
everything,
was
don't
just
they?
like,
I know.
it should be a matter of shame. I mean, personally, it's shameful. It's absolutely shameful.
When we
But
started-
it's all a step in the right direction.
When we first started doing Effin Hormones, did you ever imagine that it was actually this bad?
No,
Me neither.
No, I'm astounded as to how bad
Yeah.
it is. And actually, when you kind of go in, oh, look, we're doing this new thing now, you're going, what? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So, well, I
Are you
understand that I had
effing
two
joking?
female doctors who both tried to palm me off with antidepressants and didn't fully understand menopausal symptoms, and that's two female doctors who are not aware.
I've recently had a consultation with a gynecologist because of various problems I've been having. And she told me, oh, by the way, you're at risk of pregnancy. And I said, well, I won't be at risk of pregnancy because I've been married to my partner, same-sex relationship for over 12 years. And I've been I've been with her for over 20 years. And then she told me again, oh, but you're still at risk of pregnancy and you're at risk of STIs. And I said, well, I'm not at risk of STIs because I'm not sleeping around. But I wondered whether she would say the same thing to a heterosexual woman who went in and said her husband was aware of the issues that she was having. But it was just, there were lots of women who spoke to or said they had similar issues when accessing menopause. It's just the whole dismissal of you as a person and the dismissal of you that
Dismissal
you
generally.
have a different type of life
Yes.
or you have a different lifestyle that doesn't fit what they know
Yes.
to be treated. You
But
know,
women's
you are a
pain has
symptom
been
to be
dismissed
treated.
also for years, hasn't it?
But just being a woman going through the menopause shouldn't be so unusual, should it really?
No.
Shouldn't be so different.
No.
No.
Yeah,
We've got to
crazy.
keep on keeping on. Mm-hmm. Should we get back to the strategy? Because there's a couple of extra bits.
Go for it, H.
That are kind of menopause related. So encouraging workplace support. This is part of the strategy. And I found that interesting because that was the focus of the last documentary from Davina McCall.
Well, also the great work that Jen M are doing as well.
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah, they're doing great work with brands and they did some fantastic research with some really startling stats, didn't they? Anyway, let me give you some facts and figures from this because I found this really interesting. In that documentary, you learned that 1 in 10 women quit their jobs due to the menopause. So that equates to 333,000 women aged 45 to 55 in the workplace leaving their jobs. And
Wow.
that should be peak of your career that time, right?
Yeah.
So that comes from data compiled for that documentary. It was also analysed by the Fawcett Society, which is an organisation that fights for gender equality and women's rights. There was another interesting stat from this that I just wanted to let you guys know about because it ties in with something we talked to Karen Arthur about in Series 1, which was about Black and minoritized women and the amount of time it takes for GPs to actually recognise that it's menopausal symptoms that they're experiencing. So a far greater, 45% of Black women said it took longer for the GPs to recognise that it was menopausal symptoms rather than for white women. So it was 30% of white women said it seemed to take ages. And that was something that was borne out by what Karen was saying, wasn't it?
Massively.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you want to find out more about that, do listen to Karen's episode. It's awesome anyway, because she's absolutely amazing.
And Karen's
She's-
own podcast as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So
So
much more
it's
information.
called Menopause Whilst Black. And Karen actually carried out her own research into this as well. So do check that out. I think it was episode 6, series 1. It's the finale of series 1. And it's called This Is Why I Speak About Menopause.
Well, that's it for this very special episode of Effin Hormones. We will be back after the summer holidays. Remember, we do all of this from home and we don't get paid. In fact, we pay for it all ourselves. So, if you could be an effing star and bung us a few quid, it would be amazing. Just head to effinhormones.com and you will see our Be an Effin Star button on the front page. And you can pay whatever you want. So you can buy us all a coffee or a beer, apart from Helen, because she can't have anything fun, apart from peppermint tea, apparently, or nosecco, which is
Nosecco.
quaffing now.
Guess what I've got in my bag?
What?
I've got a CBD drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Will you get
CBD drink.
Will you get high on that?
Don't know. Let's find out.
I can't share this episode with my mum because she'll think you're a druggie.
They're legal.
It's
They're
legal.
legal.
Just buy it in a
I
normal
bought
shop.
it off an online
Cannabis.
retailer.
Well, Helen wouldn't be doing it if it was illegal.
You seen alcoholic water?
What?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Alcoholic water.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It's like
The
a
angel
seltzer I don't know. Someone gave me a can. Like my friend gave me a can.
Sounds
sounds
gross.
rubbish.
Basically, no, it was actually, I mean, a bit pointless, but interesting. Anyway,
Fabulous or not. Also, don't forget to rate, review, and follow Effin Hormones, because that way even more people will get to find us. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a joy to record with my 3 besties in person.
well done again, girls. Love you all.
That's it for this time. We love you. Bye. Bye. Boom. That's countdown, not news.